Hello, and welcome to this episode of Daily Dose of Dan, episode 16. Anyway, I don't know if any of you saw on the YouTube page that I posted a technical difficulty. Please hold on, posting on there. The reason being is ran into some issues this last week. When I went to shoot one of the videos, a comparison video, I was unable to get my hands on one of the items I was going to compare. Come to find out, it's not offered locally. So I had to do some calling and some running around, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be picking up the item that I need to compare. I'm trying to keep it secret so it doesn't ruin stuff for you guys. But so anyway, then we had Valentine's Day, and then yesterday I woke up with my shoulder killing me, and it still kind of hurts today. Somehow I slept on it wrong. Almost feels like a torn rotator cuff, if that's even possible. I'm hoping not, because that takes months to heal. So anyway, my tripod that I just got, having issues with it. So I had to find another solution. I'll show you that here in a moment. On top of that, I did get, out of all the votes on the poll for, I was just tapping, I think. I got to keep an eye on that. Anyway, on the poll that I did about changing my hair color, as you can see, the green is almost gone. So anyway, the most popular color is purple. Yeah, I've never done purple, so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. I think I may also cut my hair. It's getting a little long. Wife's not feeling it, so I'm cool with long hair, short hair. I prefer shorter hair in the summer because I get hot kind of easy. So some of the other things that I got was I got one of these. Actually, I'm using it right now because I had tripod issues. I was like, you know what? I like to shoot with my laptop open anyway, so that way if I have to look up something, or I also want to get used to eventually I've got to do the whole. I'm going to do a live video thing where I can keep an eye on the chat and stuff, and I assume that's what you need to do. Have a camera and then have a computer they have access to. So I just want to kind of begin as I mean to go on. But anyway, this wasn't that bad. It was about, I don't know, between 10 and 15 bucks, but I record with an older phone that has a better camera than my laptop, so I could have did an unboxing video, but then I would have had to hold the camera, and screw that. So anyway, my tripod isn't completely down, but it's one of the hinges got cracked. That's plastic. That's probably one of the flaw points in it, so I can't use it a lot before it breaks. So I want to make sure the next place I use it, that's where it's going to be permanently. I'm working on setting up a studio setup with a friend of mine, and that's probably where I'll keep that tripod, and then I'll work on something else with my laptop and a USB light and try to do it at home this way. And not to mention, I want something that's super portable. I plan on doing outdoor videos and stuff like that too, so there's that. And then I'll tell you a cool little story. And this is going to be in the folder of, I'm going to start a new, one of the surveys I had asked if what kind of content people wanted, and people were looking into, they wanted to hear more of stories of Dan. So this is kind of the first video of stories of Dan. So it isn't from the past, more of a present stories. But anyway, so I had to order a part for my wife's car. For about the last year or so, we've been having overheating issues. Now, some time ago, I'd hit a deer with it, and I thought I had cracked the reservoir tank. So anyway, we were doing some work on it for other things, a wiper issue and taillight. I replaced the taillight bulbs with LEDs because I try to make my wife's vehicle as safe as possible. We don't have a whole lot of money, so we drive beater cars, and they break from time to time. So what better time to upgrade than when one of your bulbs goes out? So now the brake light / blinkers are 4 times brighter, and in theory they'll never burn out again. So anyway, so as we're looking at it, my buddy was like, let's take a look and see if we can figure out why this thing's losing fluid. And I'm like, alright. So we started up, and he checked the reservoir, and there was no crack in it. And so I thought maybe, a slightly blown head gasket or something. It's an older car, it's possible. And so he kind of ran his hand underneath where the cap was, and there was like a very small drip. And the car hadn't been running very long, so there wasn't a whole lot of pressure. And he was like, well, it's either it's either the cap or the neck. And I was like, so I took a look at the cap, and the O-ring, the rubber O-ring that goes around the cap was utterly flat, like it looked like a band, it looked like a rubber band. And I'm like, well, that might be the issue, because O-rings are kind of supposed to be round to make a seal. So I went on Amazon and ordered one. Well, it came in yesterday on Valentine's Day. So it came in this box. And it kind of reminded me, it kind of looks like a little jewelry box, that you'd get for, and I thought it was kind of funny that it showed up on Valentine's Day. So I was like, what better way to say I love you than with genuine AC Delco parts? And I presented it to my wife because it's for her car. And I was like, like people, within the first 5 years of the relationship, they're getting them jewelry and, stuff like that. And it's like when you've been together for over 20 years, you get more practical things that like help you out, like not overheating, the car being dead on the side of the road. A bracelet or a ring really ain't going to get you far on that situation. So anyway, that's kind of the sense of humor that I have. Speaking of Valentine's Day, one of the stories I wanted to give you was my wife and I, when we first started dating, we started dating in 1995, and in January, and that first Valentine's Day was coming up, and I was thinking to myself, most women are expecting, especially if you just started dating, they're expecting something on Valentine's Day. It's just a given. And so my wife was working on the 13th, and I show up at her work at closing time with a single red rose. And she was like, looked at me kind of strange, and she was like, today's not Valentine's Day, right? Because she thought that I had mixed up the day. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I go, it's the 13th. I go, but you'd be expecting something tomorrow, and I wanted to surprise you today. Now, at the time, she didn't admit it, but later on in our relationship, she admitted to me that it was that moment that she kind of realized that, what? I think I'm going to want to stay with this guy. The way he thinks, the way he views the world is going to be a very interesting ride. So I just thought that'd be a cool little story to share with you guys about me and my wife. And we are kind of crazy, kind of out there. So, and it kind of works. So there's that. I'm really looking forward to get some more videos out there. When your shoulder hurts, you don't feel like doing anything. I couldn't lift my arm, my left arm above my head yesterday. But it's feeling a lot better today, and I'm getting back on the horse. And I think that's where we're gonna. I think that's the. I always like to end the videos with a positive message, and I think the positive message today is going to be like, don't give up. You're gonna have problems. You're gonna have hurdles. You're gonna wake up one day and it's gonna suck, but that doesn't mean you get to quit. And so, even though I was having tripod issues, I got, something that will work instead. Or, my shoulder hurts, and it's like, all right, there all kinds of things can get in your way, and don't let them slow you down. My nephew, he's working really hard to get fit, and he overdid it and pulled a muscle or whatever and chose not to work out. And I just told him, I was like, well, maybe you should have a plan in place, like, if you hurt your arm or something, then you work on your legs, or if you hurt your legs, you work on your arms, that type of thing. And I was like, so that way it doesn't throw most of us, it's habit. Once you create a good habit and keep going, it just becomes habit and it's second nature. But if you let something stop you, all of a sudden, it's tripped you up, and it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 months, a year. Now you've just stopped doing whatever you were doing. So I think people can really fall victim to that hiccup. And my advice is, don't let it. Just keep pushing through, and you'll get through. And if life was easy, everybody would be good at it. So anyway, this has been your Daily Dose of Dan. I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully the next day and the next day after that. Love you all. Be sure to like and subscribe. All the subscribes really help. Pass it to your friends. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers at least. We're almost there. About close to 760, I think. And also the algorithm likes the likes, and that lets them know where to place the video. So the liking and the subscribing is very important. So please, I beg you, please make sure you pass these on to your friends, because I'm trying to make a thing of this. So I appreciate your guys' support and look forward to sharing more with you.